Hi, my name is Gabriella Marcassani, and I chose to do my master's thesis on the topic of the effects of certain social media marketing on the extreme sport industry. Why did I choose this topic? Well, I'm very involved in the extreme sport industry as it is, and I'm a marketing professional at my full-time job. I wanted to combine the two to learn more about the field that I would eventually like to get my career in after I graduate. In SMGT 780, while we were conducting our research proposal, I noticed that there was a lack of research surrounding the topic of social media and how it affects the extreme sport industry. The interest in learning more about these two entities and how they are beneficial for each other sparked my interest for the following research questions to be answered. The gap in research conducted, as mentioned in the previous slide, led to the development of these 4 questions. In order to answer these questions, I had to do a couple things first. The questions being, 1. How does Facebook make promoting events easy and beneficial? 2. Who is the target audience that uses Facebook? 3. Who is the target audience that follows extreme sports? And 4. How does Facebook affect the extreme sport industry? In order to get started on my research, I decided to take some preliminary action and analyze the potential interviewees' Facebook page, being the racetrack's Facebook page and the potential athletes that I would interview, their Facebook page as well. Before figuring out who I should interview, though, and what I should research, I needed to get this preliminary research out of the way to get a better understanding of how they utilize the medium. Once that was complete, it was time to gather as much information that I could find on my topic and conduct a literature review. After finding common themes among the works that I had collected, I came up with 3 themes, being Facebook marketing, sports use of social media, and growth of action sports. This literature helped me understand more about the extreme sport industry and how other businesses in conventional sports have been utilizing social media to enhance their brand awareness. However, this research still confirmed that there is a gap in the research that doesn't cover how Facebook affects the extreme sport industry. While my application was being approved, I went ahead and contacted the local racetrack here in Central New York in order to get in contact with whoever was in charge of their social media. Once I received an email, I nicely asked for permission to ask her some questions for my master's project once the time comes. I then contacted 10 racers that I know, asking if they would be willing to do the same, and they were all more than happy to help. Once my application was approved, I then sent out the consent form and the questions for the email interview to 14 participants, 4 social media coordinators from the local racetrack, 5 motocross racers, and 5 snowcross racers. After a week, all 4 social media coordinators sent back their answers, with 7 racers also sending back their answers, making a total of 11 participants out of the original 14. It was really nice to get all of their information and all of their answers back within a week. A sample of the few questions that I had asked them was, do you use Facebook? Do you feel Facebook is a beneficial tool to help market and promote your facility and the events that you coordinate? When a sport complex or racetrack that you race at creates an event on Facebook, do you find it beneficial? Why or why not? What is the average age range of the majority of your followers? And is Facebook beneficial to the extreme sport industry? Why or why not? I obviously asked a lot more questions, but this is just a sample of some of the information I was trying to gather. And here are my results. From the questions asked, I coded the answers and was able to categorize like responses and put them into 4 categories. Shifting to target older generations, interactive, relationship building, and event planning and marketing benefits. 8 out of the 11 participants felt that Facebook is shifting towards an older generation. 100% of the participants felt that Facebook is very interactive, 82% felt that Facebook is very beneficial to their marketing and event planning efforts, and 64% felt that Facebook is a relationship building outlet. 3 different participants made sure to let me know that there are features that Facebook has that they need to utilize as a business or an athlete, such as sharing, liking, and event planning tools. However, it has been noticed that their target audiences are now shifting to using Instagram and Snapchat. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. This is good information to know so that these businesses and extreme sport industry professionals can start acting now and make changes so they can continue to adapt and target their main audience. Overall, Facebook and the extreme sport industry have the same characteristics and both attract the young target market, so it's hard not to combine the two. The literature review and the interviews prove that. Here are some figures in the form of pie charts and bar graphs of some of the main questions that I ask people. Figure 1 shows, do you use Facebook for business purposes? All of them said yes. Racers and social media coordinators. Figure 2, what's the average age of your followers? As you can see, a lot of them said between the ages of 29 and 34. This does show that there is a shift in the target market, not so much the 19 to 28-year-olds anymore, as they're starting to move towards other social media outlets such as Snapchat and Instagram. 72%, as I mentioned earlier, agreed that there is a shift in the audience of that Facebook targets to coincide with Figure 2. Figure 2 and Figure 4 coincide. In Figure 6, 9 out of 11, or 82% of the participants, use event planning tool for Facebook. When I mean event planning, when I talk about event planning, I mean creating an event, for example, a race, putting down the date, the time, where it is, how to buy tickets. Not only does the racetrack put out these events, but the athletes then share these events with their friends, who then like them and share them with their friends, mark if they're going, ask any questions, post any pictures. The sponsorships could get involved, give away some freebies, just get people to come to the event. And it's really a mutually beneficial relationship for all parties involved. My hypothesis was supported, but there was also an increase in knowledge base as the participants talked about the change that they had noticed. For example, the shift in target audience. Overall, the data that was found answers the 4 questions posed at the beginning of this presentation. Facebook is found to have a very positive effect on the extreme sport industry. There may be a shift in Facebook's target audience, but Facebook still has unique features that can be used by many. Due to many factors like time constraints and travel distance, this research had to stay practical and did not go too broad. In order to capture the whole extreme sport industry, more people need to be interviewed in future research from many different extreme sports, whether it be snowboarding, rollerblading, snowcross, supercross. There needs to be a variety of athletes interviewed. It would also be beneficial to analyze and compare the different social media outlets to see exactly which one is the most beneficial for this industry. I really had a great time creating this PowerPoint and writing this thesis paper. It was very beneficial to realize the correlation between social media, in particular Facebook, and the extreme sport industry, and how although that there is a shift in the audience and it may be targeting an older generation, that there's still usage and it's still beneficial for the racers and the racetrack coordinators to utilize the tools that Facebook has and to create relationships in the little communities that end up being created on these social media outlets. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.